welcome to today's TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube live. It is Tuesday, the 17th of June. For the time being, the sun is shining. Everything looks hunky-dory out there, though. I have just been looking at the weather forecast, and the weather is meant to get a little bit ropier for the rest of the day. That is what I will. That is what I will say. How are you all? I was on last night. I was on till after 9 o'clock last night, so it's only been about 11 hours since I've seen you. But I hope you had a lovely rest of Monday evening. If you were on last night and you've come on this morning, how is your weight loss week going? I know we're only a day in, but I talk about this all the time. Laying that foundation, what we do on a Monday can spur us up. And I did have a few people yesterday come on the live last night and they were, oh, I've not had the best day. Oh, this has happened. Oh, this has happened. It is Monday. You can't ruin your week on a Monday, right? Yes, we like to have a good Monday. We like to start off as, we want to go ahead for the week on a Monday. But sometimes that doesn't happen. And if that doesn't happen, you need to rescue your week. And you can do it. Right, so we do top 5 on TikTok this morning. If there's 5 of you in. This morning, Callum's in at number 1, James is in at number 2, Tonti's in at number 3, Paul is in at number 4, and Lisa's in at number 5. Good morning, guys. You're on my top 5 this morning. Thank you very much for jumping straight to the live. Coming and saying hello. Steph GC, good morning. Stefan's in, good morning. Love hearing the birds. So it's a lovely morning this morning. Very nice this morning. It is meant to change. And then the heat waves coming. I think tomorrow's not too bad, about 18 and sunny. And then certainly round here, just typical. I always said this, I'm going away. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is, if you're going to go away in June, there's a very good chance the weather could be half decent here while you're away. But the weather looks amazing here next week. It looks pretty much like what we're going to get in Spain. But you're not in Spain and you're not on holiday. But anyway, I think it's from Thursday onwards, minimum 24 for about 5 or 6 days. Wow, that's pretty nice for the UK. It is one of those in the UK, isn't it? I love lovely weather, but 18, that's perfect for me. 18 degrees, sunny, might get up to 20, 21 in the sun. I'm actually glad I'm going away if it's going to be red hot here, because the UK, when it is red hot and you've got to work and you haven't got a pool and you haven't got air conditioning, can be a bit of a tough place to be. But if I was here, trust me, I wouldn't be complaining. I've already lost what I gained. Who, Paula? Exactly. See, this is it. We panic so much about. We have little periods of overindulgence. I'm not saying Paula was panicking, but a lot of us do. We have little periods of overindulgence. We see a bit of a bump on the scales. Get back to doing what you do. Can be gone within a couple of days. I did this at Christmas, and I've actually included this now. I was umming and ahhing about whether to, but if you watched my weekly weight loss vlog yesterday, at Christmas, I weighed myself on New Year's Eve, right? And then I weighed myself New Year's Day, and then I weighed myself on the 2nd, and I dropped 6 pounds, I think, overnight. And I was like, "Is that an anomaly? Is that a thing?" And the honest truth is, no, it's not an anomaly. The honest truth is, you can drop 5 or 6 pounds, not body fat overnight. A body fat overnight doesn't happen, but you can drop 5 or 6 pounds of weight overnight because you're losing excess food weight, you're losing excess water weight, and that's generally after a period of overindulgence, even if it's for a week or so. The biggest bump on the scales is just caused by a bit of excess food weight, a bit of excess water retention. Kelly C, good morning. Quick question. I got to run soon. I'm not feeling particularly hungry. What shall I eat? If you're not hungry, don't eat. Honestly, never force food down. Right? Never force food down. Right? It always, a lot of people, they come on and go, do I get a food plan? Why do you need a food? Like, don't get me wrong. We've got this mentality that we have to eat in a specific way. But don't get me wrong, food plans for me, they're just fad diets, so I don't do them. I do some eating guides in the thing, and they are just a guide, and I'm quite clear on that. It's not like you need to eat this stuff. And this is where we're at sometimes with weight loss. We feel that we have to eat in a very specific way to lose weight, and we don't. So, and the thing is, when someone comes on and says, "What should I eat?" How the hell do I know what you like to eat? And that's the biggest thing about people maybe writing food. What do? Send you a menu over, send you a list over. You tick all the foods you like, and then I'll create. It just doesn't work. It just really doesn't work, right? And and then right. So I know you like chicken, and I know you like potatoes. I absolutely love chicken and chips. You might be like, "Oh, I hate chips. I only like mashed potato." Well, when it comes to weight loss or our eating, we just need to adapt what we like to eat or the way we like to eat around sticking to a calorie deficit. It really is that simple. And we don't need to make it any more complicated than that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're literally sat there going, "Well, I just like to eat burgers and fried chicken and pizza," all right, look, you're going to need to overhaul your diet a little bit. Yeah. But I'm not saying you can't eat burgers and pizza and fried chicken day in, day out and lose weight. Now, I'm not saying you can do that and be the healthiest person in the world, but, 5%, I have them quite often, 5% fat burger from Aldi, low fat cheese slice, whack it on a brioche bun, bit of salad on there, bit of sauce, a few air fried chips. You've got burger and chips for 600 calories. You can eat that every day of your life, right? You're getting fiber, you're getting protein, you're getting other vitamins and minerals with salad and potatoes and different fat soluble vitamins that's still in, 5% fat beef is still 5% fat, right? So, now, no one, it's very rare, or somebody will, "Oh, you got to eat burger and chips and lose weight." This is the mindset we've been dragged into with crazy fad diets and all this and the other. And it's like, yeah, you can. Fat loss is simply, a lad commented yesterday on my Facebook, and he was like, something about the carnivore diet. And you lose fat on the carnivore diet, not because of a calorie deficit. I'm like, oh, here we go. So why did you lose fat on the carnivore diet? Please enlighten us. Because carbs are energy, and if you don't eat carbs, then you use fat for energy, and then by using more fat for energy means you lose more fat. So, right, okay. No, that's what someone's led you to believe, right? We burn fat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whether you eat carbohydrates or not, right? The only way we lose body fat is thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is basically energy balance, right? That's all it is. Thermo means burn, right? And dynamics is basically how we compare what we're burning with what's going back in, right? It's what's the dynamic of the burn, of the energy burn. And it's relatable to whether it's logs that go on a fire, it's relatable to whether it's petrol in your car, it's relatable to whether it's a battery in your phone, right? Most of you will have woke up this morning, your phone has 100% battery because you put it on charge overnight, right? And as you go through the day, you burn your battery's power, right? And it starts depleting, right? Now, if you put your phone on charge again overnight, you'll have 100% battery. So you're replacing the energy you're using back up to maximum. So the thermodynamic of that is an energy balance. That is a maintenance of energy. I use a certain amount of energy and I'm replacing it with the same amount of energy. Therefore, every time I wake up in the morning, my phone is always going to be 100% charged, right? There's never going to be less energy in my phone every single morning. Now, how a calorie deficit works for fat loss is if we made it relatable to a mobile phone. So let's say you woke up yesterday morning with 100% battery, right? And then tomorrow night, and then last night, you plugged your phone in, but you could set it where once it got to 90% battery, right, it stopped charging. Or I don't know how you do this, but when it got to 90% battery, you unplugged it, right? So started off with 100%, right? But I've drained the battery down, and I've only put 90% back in. So I've got 10% less energy in my phone on Tuesday morning than I had on Monday morning. right? That is a calorie deficit. That is a thermodynamic where you are using more energy than you are replacing it with, right? Therefore, your phone now has only got 90% battery today. It's got less energy stored in it. Let's say tonight you go to sleep and you plug your phone in and you unplug it at 80%. So this morning you had 90%, tomorrow you had 80%. So through the week, you're only going to wake up in the morning with 50, 60% battery because you are putting less energy in than you are taking out. That's thermodynamics. And that is how we lose energy in or reduce the energy capacity in anything, right? Now, body fat is stored energy. So where if you've got a belly, you've got fat on your arms, fat on your legs, it is where the body has stored energy, right? And it's your petrol tank. It's your phone battery. Your body is your phone battery. And if you are overweight, your phone battery is at 100%. And what we need to do is get your phone battery, we need to get you waking up in the morning and it's at 50%, right? And how do we do that? Well, just the same as you do with your phone, you put less charge back into your phone than you take out. You put less calories back into your body than you take out. And that is the only way we lose body fat, right? There is no other way to reduce any energy, right? You take out more than you put back in. This lad wouldn't have it. And a lot of people don't have it because it's very rare anyone on social media will actually speak the truth about fat loss because, a lot of people, they want to come up with the latest fad. Why? Because everyone, I think, the majority of people that are desperate to lose weight have got to this point where they're, I've tried everything. Nothing works for me. Right. So what's the next thing that I can invent? And it's just lies where people haven't tried. And then they'll try it and then they'll sign up to me. So at the moment, the carnivore diet is very, very popular. And I'm not saying the carnivore diet has only just been around for the last year or two, but it's the latest fad. And not a lot, a lot of people have done keto, and we've got to the point with keto where it's just become another fad diet. Oh, yeah, I didn't eat carbs for 6 months. Yes, I lost 3 stone, stopped, but I couldn't stick to it, and I put weight back on. Right, another one in the fad diet pot. How do we, what's the next fad diet? Carnivore diet, ketogenic diet, but a more extreme version. You just eat meat, eggs, cheese, and maybe some dairy, right? That is it. And that's the next one. And everyone's like, I've lost 10 stone doing the carnivore. I don't think anyone, someone might have gone somewhere. But anyway, I've lost this doing the carnivore diet. It's the best diet in the world. And this lad was like, all my health markers have improved. What you need to understand is, if you had a really unhealthy diet, so your diet was primarily junk food, takeaways, and a lot of people have weight issues. That is what their diet is. That's what my diet was. I still ate some main meals like cottage pie and spaghetti bolognese, but when I ate things like that, I overate them. But I did eat a lot of sugary cereal, right? I did eat a lot of junk food. I did eat a lot of takeaways. I did eat, a lot of this stuff, and that makes you feel rubbish. So even if you are going to, we have to accept that if someone's diet is an ultra processed, diet, very low nutrient dense diet, right? And they replace that with doing something like the carnivore diet. Now, the carnivore diet long term is very, very unhealthy. But someone that's used to just eating potato waffles, spaghetti hoops, turkey Twizzlers, frozen pizzas, Rustler's burgers, right? If that has been your diet and you just start eating meat and eggs, you are going to feel better, right? It is going to give you a lot more nutrition. You're getting, eggs and steak have a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients in them. So you are going to feel better. Now, you are going to consume a lot of saturated fat. And long term, short term, you'll end up pre-diabetic probably in about 6 months if you stick to the carnivore diet. Long term, you'll end up with clogged arteries. So I'm not saying it is a healthy diet. It's not. But is it better than eating frozen pizzas and Rustler's burgers? Of course it is. And you are going to feel better, And this is but that's called anecdotal. It's an anecdotal effect. It's basically you've gone from point A to point B, And like I say to a lot of people that say the carnivore diet's the best I've ever felt. Right, well, let's do the carnivore diet, but let's introduce some fruits and veggies in there. You'll feel even better. You know, let's put some fiber in there. Let's put some whole grains. Let's put some roughage in there. You'll feel even better on top of that. You know, and then so you don't feel overly restricted, and you still enjoy some of the foods you love. Leave a small fraction. I recommend about 20% of your calories to foods that you really enjoy. You can still have a pizza. You can still have some turkey twizzlers if you want them. You genuinely can and be healthy. Alexis, good morning. Donna, good morning. Who else in? What's for breakfast this morning? Yogurt bowl. Yogurt bowl today. Didn't have breakfast yesterday. We're on the yogurt bowl this morning. I have got 200 grams of frozen fruit that I took out the freezer at about 7:30 this morning. That's sat in the kitchen, defrosting, as it were. I might give it an extra little ping in the microwave. We'll see where it's at when I get in the kitchen. I'm going to add to that 150 grams of yogurt. I'm going to add 150 grams of Greek yogurt, 20 grams of protein powder, a little pinch of stevia just to sweeten it up a little bit. And then that will get topped with a little bit of granola, some chia seeds, and a drizzle of peanut butter. I'm going to have 500 calories. Do you know what? I've not actually tracked my food today. Well, I have. I've tracked my tea because we're having lasagna for tea, which we had on. Why is that not in there today? Let me get my NutriCheck up. I'm positive I put that in today. Anyway. Whatever I had for tea on Sunday night, we're finishing it off. So we're having lasagna for tea. So let me copy that from. And this is the beauty when I made a lasagna on Sunday. I've got 2 portions left, one for me and one for Rachel. And literally all I need to do is highlight it on Sunday, click copy, click today, copy to the same meal occasion. Now the only difference today is I had put it in. What was I looking at then? It just hadn't updated. And I thought I'd put it in today. Right, hang on. Let me take out that new one I've just put in. The only difference is today I am having 1 slice of garlic bread and I had 2 on Sunday. So my tea today is... Why is it being really slow? Delete 7 items. It's just being really slow. He's NutriCheck. Maybe it needs an update. I don't know. Anyway, that is going to be tea tonight, which I know it's 700 calories because I did put it in there last night. My yogurt bowl this morning is 424 calories. Lunch today is a ready meal for this week's worth of calories. I actually found it in the back of my freezer. I've been tidying my freezer out a little bit. And where's the dog? Oh, she's there. In the back of the freezer. So I'm gonna have that for my dinner. I think it's 500 calories. I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So that's going in. So 424 for breakfast, 500 for lunch. 424 for breakfast, 500, 900. Got a little new My Protein product, again for worth of calories. That's 1,100. 700. So I'm at 1,800 calories today so far. And then I probably will have a bit of fruit tonight or something like that. Right, I'm going to shut NutriCheck down on my iPad because it is not working. It is having an absolute paddy. Let me shut that down. Let me boot it back up. So yeah, breakfast is my yogurt bowl. We're on a bit of a mission for eating up out the fridge. Saying that though, yogurt lasts a good few weeks in the fridge, as you know, even if it's been open. To be honest with you, but I have got 2. I've got 1 pot that I've just opened that I used in a recipe yesterday. So I've got 300 grams in 1 pot. I'm going to have a couple of yogurt bowls to eat that up, and then I've got a pot not open, which I'm not going to open this week. That'll do for when I get back from holiday. Yeah, we're having a bit of an eating up sort of week this week. Trying to stay on track before we're going on holiday. But yeah, try not to buy any food in. What would you snack on for a 6-hour journey in the car? If I stop, we end up at McDonald's. Again, for me personally, like what I'd snack on and what you'd snack on are 2 totally different things. I mean, it's a 6-hour journey in the car, and why you're probably wanting to snack is through boredom because you just sat there and it's just monotonous. So really, you want, there's no reason whether you're sat at a desk for 6 hours or you're sat in a car for 6 hours. Now, if you're going on holiday, snack on what you flipping want to. What I actually love in the car, Werther's Originals. I love a Werther's. Don't crunch them, just suck on them, right? They're 22 calories each. And honestly, you can make 2 or 3 of them for 60 calories last a good half hour. You generally can, right? And then maybe a bit of yin and yang, take some fruit. If you don't want to stop and get food, take a picnic, right? Take a packed lunch, right? It's all calorie controlled. So I don't know what the car journey is. Like if it's a car journey because you're going to Devon on holiday for a week, stop at McDonald's and have a bloody Mackey's. Enjoy it. That's what I'm doing. I've got some philosophies around holidays. I don't cook. Right, don't get me wrong. I don't mind doing a bit of a packed lunch for the road trip on the way down, especially because services can be a fortune and this, that, and the other. But if you're on holiday, you're going on holiday, aren't you? What's the point of going on holiday if you can't let your hair down a little bit? Currently packing to get ready to go to the lakes in an hour. Amazing, Callum, and you've picked a really good time to go. I think the weather today is going to be a bit ropey. So your first day is going to be, but I don't know. I think you're there till Friday, aren't you? The weather tomorrow and Thursday looks amazing. Looks really, really good. So you'll have a great time. Let me scan up, see what I missed. Karen G, good morning. That's tea tonight. Burger and chips, loads of protein. Absolutely, I love it. 5% fat burger. I normally have two. Two 5% fat burgers is like 250 calories. One brioche bun from Aldi is 160 calories. So you're at 410. Low fat cheese slice, you're at 450. Bit of salad on there, bit of sauce. You're at 500 calories, but for a great big whacking burger with loads of protein in it. And then just do yourself a couple hundred, 250 grams of air fried chips. And for 700 calories, you've got a great big wacky burger. Now, don't get me wrong, you can go to McDonald's, you get a medium Big Mac meal for 800 calories. So calorie-wise, it's not loads less, but what you get is a lot more volume, a lot more protein, a lot less saturated fat. And it's just, more filling and better for you. Hard enough picking your own tea, never mind picking someone else. You do, and you get, I get it. I get why people ask about eating. What should I eat for tea tonight? What should I do for... And it is that thing about, and don't get me wrong, we can take inspiration from other people. So, like Kaz just said there, I'm going on a 6-hour car journey. What would I do? Well, for me personally, if I was going on holiday, I might take a packed lunch. I'd take some sweets. I might take a bit of fruit. I might take some crisps. When the last sort of road trip we arranged it, we went to Edinburgh last September. It was a 4-hour drive for us. And we took a packed lunch en route. But part of that packed lunch was some crisps and some chocolate. We're going on holiday for the weekend. So, now if you're like, no, I'm traveling down to see family and I want to stay on track, then again, packed lunch, track the calories, take lots of low calorie snacks. Fruit is probably is your best option. Do yourself a bit of a fruit bowl. Like I say, if you want something a bit sweet, Werther's great calorie control, 22 calories each. Have a couple of them an hour. Over 2 or 3 hours, you're not going to be at over 100 calories. Take a protein shake, take a protein pudding. There's lots of different options there that are gonna fill you up. Right, let me scan down. Morning, Jackie. Morning, Anna. Morning, Joan. If I've missed any good mornings, it's nothing personal. It's meant to get up to 27. Yeah, London is meant to be redders this week. I think it's all coming up. Basically, I was reading this the other day. Don't ask me why I read stuff like this, but it just came up. So it's been last week, it was over 40 degrees in Spain because of warm winds coming up from the Sahara, right? And basically, it's hit London early on this week, and then it's going to hit us. So it's just swept up, really, which is why it's going to be very, very warm. And it's looking like it's going to be very, very warm till a week. I was just looking, and it could all change, don't get me wrong. But when we fly home a week on Saturday, I think it still says it's 24 degrees or something like that. So, which is great. We land at dinner time, so it means no, don't need to worry about putting a jacket in the car or something when you get off the plane. Lovely. Might be tough doing the walks up the hills in the heat though, but will be fun. Yeah, it's, obviously if it's going to be hot and you're going to go to the lakes walking early morning. Now I know you might be on holiday, but do not be doing, if you're going up doing some serious treading, like, do not be doing that in the heat of the day. Absolutely not. It'd just be bonkers, right? So flip your days around, like literally get up, get back down for lunchtime, depending on what walks you're doing, and then just go and spend the afternoon in the pub if you're on holiday. That's what I'd be doing anyway. Hi, does it affect what time you eat on Manjaro? I work night shifts. It shouldn't do. No, in terms of daily eating, Manjaro won't affect when you eat, but what Manjaro will do is it will affect, depending on when you take your jab, it will affect your eating patterns. So basically, let's say you move on to let's say you decide to start taking Manjaro and you jab Monday morning. Your suppression is going to be at its highest for the first 3 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, high suppression, right? And then as you come out of the week and you get closer to having your next jab, the suppression wanes. Now, the suppression doesn't really, the first 3 days, it should be the same on Wednesday as it is on Monday, right? That's what the data sort of tells us. And from me working with clients, most people are like, yeah, first 3 days. So for those 3 days, you would have lower calories, right? So let's say your daily calories are 1,800. I did get some clients who go, I'm moving on to Manjaro. Should I eat less calories? No. Basically, if you're healthy, this is how you should look at Manjaro. If your healthy, sustainable calorie allowance is 2,000 calories a day, right, and you can't stick to that, right, then take Manjaro to help you stick to it. If your healthy, sustainable calorie allowance is 2,000 calories a day, and suddenly you started taking Manjaro and you're struggling to eat 1,200 calories a day, this is all on averages, by the way, right? Then you're taking too much, right? Now, don't get me wrong. The loading dose is 2.5 milligram. And when you first start taking it, because you've never had it before, it might hit you quite hard. And for the first couple of weeks, yes, your calories might be lower. But remember, Manjaro should be a tool to help you stick to your calories. It shouldn't be a tool that helps you obliterate your healthy, sustainable calorie allowance. However, we're trying to lose weight, it should be done in a healthy fashion, right? So what you'll find is the first 3 days, very low suppression. And then day 4, it will start to ease a little bit. It'll still be pretty decent, day 4 and 5, but it will start to ease a little bit. And then day 6 and 7 is when you should start having to really use a little bit of willpower to control your calories. But we should also structure our calories to help with that. So when my clients come on my one-to-one plan, I tend to give it, so we look at calories as a daily average. We have 5 days below our daily average, and then we tend to have a couple of days a week that's above our daily average. And that gives you some nice flexibility and freedom when it comes to your eating. When I get clients that come on my one-to-one plan that are taking Manjaro, or they are working with me and they decide to move on to Manjaro, right, then I will alter their calorie structure. So rather than having 5 lower days and 2 higher days, they would have 5 low days, 2 lower days, and then 2 higher days. So they've still got flexibility, they've still got freedom, and those higher days are going to be, let's say you take jab Monday morning, the high day is going to be Saturday, Sunday, when you are getting ready for your next jab Monday morning. So that is how you should structure your calories when it comes to MJ. Now, if you are, let's say your calorie allowance should be 2,000 calories a day. For me personally, if I've got a client that comes on board and their calories are 2,000 calories a day, I'm probably going to give them something like 1,700, 1,750 Monday to Friday, and then probably something like 2,750 Saturday, and then 2,500 Sunday. So they've got a couple of higher days, one at peak day, as we would call it, but 2 higher days and 5 days banking calories. If I had someone that's on Manjaro and they should be eating 2,000 calories a day, their first 3 days, I might put them on 1,500 calories a day, because that's when their suppression is going to be highest. And they're actually going to bank 1,500 calories. Their next 2 lower days, I would probably then put them at maybe 1,800, right? So 200. So that's the banking 1,500 Monday to Friday, right? they're banking 200, 400 Thursday. They're banking 1,500 Monday to Wednesday. They're banking 400 Thursday to Friday. So they've actually banked 1,900. And then when their suppression's coming to an end towards the end of the week and it's the weekend, I would probably then give them 2,900 Saturday, 2,000. So they've got like quite a big swing, right? But they're still eating 14,000 calories over the week, just the same as the person that's not taking MJ, that's doing 1,750 Monday to Friday and then doing 2,750 Saturday, 2,500 Sunday. Now, what I would recommend is with your Mounjaro, when you're going to take it, what are your toughest days? What are your hardest days to control your calories? And if you say Saturday, Sunday, I would actually recommend you want those 2 days to be days 4 and 5 after your jab, right? And I'll tell you why. Because Saturday, Sunday tends to be hard for us because we're a lack of routine. And it's days where we need more or want more calories. It might be going out for a meal with friends, going out for a meal with your partner. It might be an all-day wedding. It might be someone's birthday or something like that, right? So we want to have decent suppression on there to help us on our toughest 2 days, but we don't want to be overly suppressed so we can't go out and enjoy a meal or enjoy a takeaway with the family. So it's all about a bit of balance. So, if Saturday, Sunday is your hardest day, I recommend jabbing Wednesday morning. So you're going to have your highest suppression Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Which is probably a day where you're actually quite all right tracking calories. But sometimes as we get to the weekend, we can slip into weekend mode. So you have your highest suppression Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're going to bank a good few calories over those days. You're then going to take your calories. Now, you can still see your week as Monday to Sunday, by the way. This is just when you're going to take your jab and where you're going to structure your calories, right? So you might have 1,500 Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then when it's the weekend, you might have 2,000 Saturday, 2,000 Sunday. You've got a bit of extra calorie freedom. It's your daily average. And then Monday, Tuesday, when your suppression's waning, most people manage to control calories quite comfortably on a Monday, Tuesday anyway. So you could just have 2,000 Monday, 2,000 Tuesday. So you've got no suppression, but you're just sticking to your daily average. Now, do something like that. You're having 3 lower days and 4 average days. And that's actually putting you in a slightly bigger deficit. So it'll optimize your results without, a lack of compromise, as it were. Likewise, if you're struggling at the weekend, but you do want freedom at the weekend, you could take your jab on a Tuesday, right? So your suppression's highest Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then you're coming out of that higher suppression Friday into Saturday. And then Sunday's a lower suppression day. And that's when you can have a little bit of a good treat day. And then Monday is your suppression's the lowest it's been all week. But again, Monday, you're back into your 9 to 5 routine. So it's all about when you take your jab and then how you structure your calories over a week from having that jab. I think that's the big thing about MJ. It's not about what you do on a day-to-day. But, I work night shifts, so can I eat it? You just sort out your eating pattern as you need it. Does that kind of make sense? Emily, good morning, boss. Good morning, Emily. I jab Sunday. Now it works well. Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of them. If you're like, no, I don't want to compromise my weekends. I love having a Chinese with the family. I love having a big Sunday roast and some apple crumble and custard on a Sunday, right? So if that's the case, jab Monday, right? Bank the calories during the week and then give yourself that food freedom at the weekend. You're still going to have some suppression Saturday, Sunday. It's just kind of coming to an end, right? And you need to have days where your suppression is very low because you still need to be teaching yourself self-control around food, right? Because when you stop taking MJ, and you will stop taking it, and even if you're sat there going, no, I'm going to take it the rest of my life, you can do, but it'd be pointless because your body adapts to it. So you might get up to 15 milligrams, but at some point in time, 2-3 years down the line, it won't do a job for you. So you need to learn natural self-control anyway. It's just giving you a little helping hand at the start is how you should look at it. Yeah. I jab Friday morning, but I tend to have good suppression for the full week. Yeah, there can be different strokes for different folks. Now, if you jab Friday morning and you have good suppression for the full week, you taking too much, right? Your suppression should be waning. Like I say, if you jab Monday morning, you should still have some suppression Saturday, Sunday, but it should be the lowest it's been, right? And if your suppression is the same on a Sunday as it is on a Monday, and don't get me wrong, you're going to get some anomalies, and some people might be like that because a lot of it is a placebo thing as well. But then we have to ask ourselves, are we taking too much? You know if you're taking too much because your calories are too low. Like I say, whether you're taking Mounjaro or not, your weight loss should be healthy and sustainable, right? And if I, for example, worked out your calories for you, and your calorie allowance is 1,900 calories a day, and you're on MJ and you're struggling to consume 1,200 calories a day on average, you're taking too much. It's too high a dose, right? Because you're at risk of malnourishing yourself. It's not healthy. Now, don't get me wrong. If I work out your calories at 1,900 a day, and that puts you in a 3,500 calorie a day deficit, and you're currently on MJ and you're struggling to do 16, you're doing sort of 16, 1,700, that's not ridiculous. You're going to be in a slightly bigger deficit. Your losses are going to be, but you're not, I wouldn't be panicky about you doing this in a very unsustainable, unhealthy way. So again, it's about finding balance. Yeah. How many people are on MJ? Currently, the stats tell us out of everyone that has a weight issue in the UK, about 5%. About 5%. Because a lot of people feel like everyone's on it. Everyone that's losing weight is on MJ and I'm the one that's not. No. There's about, overweight in the UK, there's about 30 million people. And I think there's about between 20 and 30 million people. And I think there's currently about 1 million users of MJ. So, it's a lot of people. There's 1 million. But compared to the amount of people that have a weight issue in the UK, the percentages aren't that big. I think it's between 3 and 5%, something like that at the moment. So, and a lot of people, I've had clients that have come to me and gone, everyone's on Mounjaro at the moment, and I feel like I'm the only one not on it. I'm like, no, that really isn't the case. It's definitely a minority that's on it. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're talking about Mounjaro all the time and you're searching for it on TikTok, your newsfeed will be full of it because that's how TikTok works. It puts content out to you, same with Reels, right? It puts content out to you that you watch a lot of, right? So if you watch a lot of Mounjaro content or weight loss content, you'll get a lot of Mounjaro weight loss content on social media. But that doesn't mean it's it doesn't mean that everyone is on it. And I think that's the it does feel like that. It certainly did January, February. Like I say, I had quite a lot of clients that had come to me and it'd be like, everyone's on Mounjaro, I'm not. How am I meant to have successful weight loss if I'm not taking the jab? I'm like, no, not everyone's on Mounjaro at all. And I had 7 clients last year hit their £100 loss on my plan. Not one of them's been on MJ, right? So you don't need to feel like everyone's on it. Yeah. I'm on 1,200 a day, really low. Why are you on so few calories? Anyone that's eating 1,200 calories a day, why? Right? That's the calories that a 10, 11-year-old should be eating in a day, not an adult. Now, to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit, yes. But to lose weight, you do not need to starve yourself, right? Really, dead simple, right? Starvation, no, right? Calorie deficit, yes. And a calorie deficit is simply down to consuming less calories than you burn. Again, the guy that commented yesterday, he basically said, he started off by commenting, calorie counting is pointless. Never done it in my life, right? And you'll never need to if you do the carnivore diet. This was his comment. So, maybe I'll just comment back a little bit of fishing, reel him in a little bit. So I said, right, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, you've not lost your weight because of carnivore diet, you've lost weight because you've been in a calorie deficit. He then argued that fact and he went, absolute nonsense. I eat loads of calories. I said, how do you know that? You've just told me you've never counted a calorie in your life. Now you're telling me you eat loads of calories. So what is it? Do you count calories or do you not count calories? And if you don't count calories, how do you know you eat loads of calories? You might feel like you eat a lot of food, right? And you might be eating high fatty foods, which is calorie dense. But I guarantee you're not over consuming steak and eggs because it's just not that palatable. I enjoy steak and eggs. I had it the other week, and this was the comment that he put it on. So it was just a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Carnivore dinner, apart from the great big whacking bagel I've got, because I had steak and eggs, right? And then you get all the ultra serious, that's not carnivore, you've got a bagel on it. Flipping know that, you prat. If you follow me, you'll know that I don't promote fad diets. I'm having steak, eggs, and a bagel, right? It was just a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment. Well, if you need to explain the joke, it's not very funny. It wasn't meant to be like, I'm not flipping Jimmy Carr. You're not meant to be rolling around and you've got a little bit of pee that's come out and wet your knickers because it's that hilarious. It was just a tongue-in-cheek, ironic sort of post. Honestly, this is what I get about people that demonize food, right, on social media. You get all the ones that come on and they're like, you shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Click on their profile picture. Go through any of my Facebook content where people are going, that is, that's pure poison, that's chemicals. Click on their profile picture and be something like that. No one cracks a smile. They look as miserable as sin. What's someone like, what's his name? Eddie Abu. It's like, this is dinner today, 6 eggs, bit of feta cheese. And he goes, and he's like gawking, like gag reflex as he's eating it. Watch him. You can see it. He's literally doing it for clickbait. He's literally like, I've eaten, just for content, I've eaten 4 eggs a day for the last 2 years. And I never want to see another egg in my life, right? He looks the most miserable person in the world when he's eating. Now, I'm not saying food should light up your life, but you need to, if you're not enjoying life, what is the point in doing all these things? If you're just an absolute miserable twat sat there with an absolute face like a slapped arsehole, what is the point? What is the absolute point of trying to be healthier and trying to do this and trying to do that if you're just so miserable? My signal's dropping. I don't know why. Let me have a quick. I'm on my booster. I know I am. Hang on. Don't know if you guys can hear me. I was on my booster. It looks like it's gone down or it's resetting itself because it's switched to my main thing. It says I've got a green connection, but whether I can, whether you guys can hear me or not, I have no idea. Morning, Karen H. Nutricheck done it. Yeah, Nutricheck is just terrible for calculating calories. It's a great app for tracking calories. But it basically, a lot of people, they put in that they want this many and they want that many. They want to lose this much weight. And it always gives a really low amount of calories. Very, very pessimistic with calories. So, yeah, forget Nutricheck, guys. If you want a calorie calculation, just come join my community. All online calorie calculators are only going to be maybe 50, 60% to where you'll need to be. They just give you a rough ballpark figure. That's why they're free. If you want a proper professional calorie breakdown, so you know how many you should be eating for healthy, sustainable fat loss, TikTok profile. I got a year subscription as well. Sign up to Nutricheck for a year. It's an amazing app for tracking calories. And if you want to stick to a calorie deficit, track your calories. Just don't use it to calculate your calories. Join my community. It's £5 for your first month using code WELCOME. There's no contract. You can cancel any time. So if you just want to come in and get your calorie breakdown, it'll literally cost you £5. And then all you need to do is put the calories I give you into Nutricheck. All my clients use Nutricheck. Well, the majority of my clients use Nutricheck. It's the app I recommend for tracking. Right? It's absolutely amazing. It's just not great for working out your calories. It always gives really low. So does MyFitnessPal. It always gives you 12, 30. And a lot of people, it says, how many calories should you be, how many calories should I be, how much weight do you want to lose? And a lot of people put, 2 pounds, and then they put that they're really sedentary when they're actually not that sedentary. So yeah, but just don't use, honestly, guys. Don't use NutriCheck to calculate your calories. Use it to track them. Very, very good at tracking calories. But yeah, just don't use it to calculate your calories. Yeah. And like I say, if anyone wants a full calorie breakdown from me, literally just join my community. If you join my what is it? Yeah, if you join my one-to-one plan, you also get a full plan to follow and you get regular check-ins with me. But if you join my community, you will get a full calorie breakdown. And then all you do is go into Nutrient Goal and change it to the calories I've set. Yeah. Right. Let me scan down and see what's going on. Denise, good morning. Would you have used MJ at the start of your journey if you could? That is a great question, Elizabeth Witt 07. It's a tough one for me to answer. If I'd gone back now, possibly. Yeah, I do. You know, I have said this about Mounjaro. If used by the correct people, if used in the right way, it can be a very helpful tool to help you on your weight loss journey. And at the time, you know, it's a tough one for me to answer because at the time, my headspace was, I was just, I can't explain it. I was on it, right? I'd never felt like this before. And I knew, you know, so maybe I'd have gone the natural route that I did. And then if I'd been struggling, I might have given it a go. Because, you know, when I started my weight loss journey, the doctors prescribed me a couple of weeks into my weight loss journey, the doctors prescribed me Orlistat, and which is, you know, a medication that helps, it stops the body absorbing fat, which basically reduces calorie intake, which can help with weight loss. And, you know, they prescribed me Orlistat. And at the time with that, I was very much like, you know, I didn't really want to take it, but I did. Now, basically, what I didn't realize about Orlistat was if you decided to have the odd high fat meal, yeah, it makes it go straight through your system. Wasn't pretty. But that was one of the reasons why I stopped taking it. But in all honesty, I wasn't happy with taking. Even though I started taking it, I was like, I don't need it. I don't know why I am taking it. But you go to the doctors and you just feel that, you know, the doctors knows everything. You know, the doctors, you know everything. Again, I've since learned, since starting my own weight loss, well, since having my own since having my weight loss journey and doing my qualifications and the experience I've gained, you know, I've realised that doctors' actual knowledge around nutrition and weight loss is shocking, you know, and they'll admit that a good doctor should admit them themselves, right? They will go, let me stay in my lane. I'm a medical doctor. There's a reason why we have nutritionalists and dietitians that work for the NHS. Their expertise is nutrition and food and diet. My expertise is medical. And, you know, weight, you can get a lot of medical issues through being overweight, but actual weight issues themselves isn't a medical issue. It is, for me, it's a mental health issue. So really, who should be working with people that are obese are psychologists and dietitians, not doctors. Doctors aren't psychologists. They're not dietitians, right? They are general practitioners. So they have, they're a jack of all trades, as it were, when it comes to medical. And then but what they should be doing is they shouldn't be giving that advice. They should be going, right, this person needs to talk to this person. But obviously within the NHS, there isn't the funding to do that. So, you know, and I've had clients, and, you know, I've got a client now, her doctor is an absolute prat. She tells me exactly what he says to her. From the start of her working with me, her doctor has been like, he's kicked back. No, you're on too many calories. You're doing this, you're doing that. You need to be on, same as a lot of people, you need to be on 1,400 calories a day, right? He's only giving advice. He's not giving medical advice. He's not giving qualified nutritional advice. When a doctor gives a lot of health advice, they're basically talking the same as, because they've got information from TikTok, they've got information from Google. And even now, and this same client who 18 months ago, her doctor told her, you're on way too many calories, you'll never lose weight like that, you'll never do this, that, and that. She's now 135 pounds down. She's gone from being 25 stone to being 15 stone. She's done absolutely amazing. And she's having a lot of issues with the loose skin at the moment. And she's going back to the doctor. And this same doctor, who's so far up his own backside, is sat there saying to her, this is your thing. If you'd followed my advice and lost your weight a lot quicker, you wouldn't have had the loose skin. But then you've got other people that say you don't get loose skin. Loose skin, it does not determine the speed of your weight loss, does not determine whether you get loose skin or not. It is such a myth, right? Because you get some people that go, you lose weight dead slow, it gives you your skin time to snap back. If you lose weight dead quick, it stops your skin. I don't know the reasonings behind all these fallacies, but basically, skin is elasticated. If your skin, from being overweight, has lost its elasticity, you'll have loose skin. It really is that simple. And it is just subjective to the individual. I've had clients lose 10 stone, hardly had any loose skin. I've had clients lose 4 or 5 stone, lots of loose skin. It just is what it is. But this doctor now, because of his own ego, can't even praise her that she's lost nearly 10 stone. She's changed her life. She's reversed so many medical conditions in her body. And now he's making her feel guilty for the way she's lost her weight, because he's trying to say if he'd followed her advice rather than my advice, she wouldn't have had the issues with the loose skin on her legs. It's just, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. I've lost 68 pounds with 0 loose skin. Yep, it can happen. What factors are there? Age, how long you've been overweight for, where you carry your weight, so it can happen. It's all subjective, When I got signed off the NHS weight management because I was doing so well with you, amazing Faye. Faye absolutely smashing it, lost over 10 stone, doing so good. So good. Right, guys, I'm shooting off. How do I join? Is it the link tree and join the community? Stella, that is absolutely bang on. There is I think you've actually sent an inquiry over, Stella, which I will get back to you with now if you're still on the live. But yeah, when you go onto my link tree, anyone, I can show you guys. I can't show you guys, I'm afraid, on YouTube or TikTok. But I can show you guys on you guys on YouTube or Facebook. But I can show you guys on TikTok. Where is my link tree? I don't know. Hang on. Let me go in here. Right, let me go in here. So you guys on TikTok, right? If you click my link tree in my profile, right, it will look like this, right? So there is an inquiry form, so you can just inquire, right? And I can send you all the details. But under my inquiry form, I've got the 3 links. You've got my one-to-one plan, monthly one-to-one plan, my yearly one-to-one plan, and my community. So the monthly one-to-one plan and the yearly one-to-one plan is direct one-to-one weight loss coaching with me, right? Or you've got the community. And if you just click on the community, or click on that, it'll bring up all these. Click the community there, and you can just sign up through the community, yeah? And then you'll get, when you sign up, you will get a, when you sign up, sorry, there's the community link there. Sign up through the website. When you sign up, you will get an email, right? Like a confirmation email. Say, hiya, thanks for signing up, blah, 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 blah. In there is some downloads. Download the downloads, right? And one of the downloads is a sign-up confirmation. It's got all the links to join the community, and it's got a little consultation form that you email back to me. But yeah, if you sign up there. But some of you, I've just had a couple of countdown to Benny. Thanks for this morning. Not a problem at all. I'm on the countdown to Benny. I've got 3 full days to go. So I've got today, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which I know are just going to disappear because I've got a list like that to complete each day before I go away. Stuff I'm trying to do. before going away. But yeah, a couple of you guys have just inquired. I'm going to go and get some breakfast now, and then I'll be back in the office because we've got the weight loss coaching live at 11 a.m. So if you come and join the community, you can come and jump on another live. And this morning's live is make hay while the sun shines. If you'd like to come and take part in that, come join the community, get signed up, get in the community. I'll put the links out there for you, and we'll and you can come and join the next live, which is just private for the community. There we go. So so get signed up, guys, and I will send you bits and pieces over, and I will what will I do? I'll work out calories for you today, so you get them this afternoon, and then you'll know exactly, your healthy, sustainable calorie allowance, the amount you should be eating. Right, I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and because the weather's rubbish, I'm actually gonna go and take the dogs out this morning. I want to go and get Blossom. Where she's gone? I don't know where she's going. Where are you, Bloss? Is she behind? She sneaks behind me sometimes. Oh, she's on the back of the sofa. I'm gonna go get the dogs out for a walk, and then I'll be back at 11 a.m. I'm gonna put all the links in now, guys. By the way, for the lives to join, the direct links, so you don't need to click on them and register. Just jump on them when you're going to come into the meeting. Right, have a great day, everyone. I won't be back on later. I'll be back at 11 a.m. with the Weight Loss Coaching Live. And then I'm not actually back now on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube until Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m. I'm lying to you. It's not going to be on Facebook, or I don't think it's going to be on Facebook or TikTok. I'm taking Rachel to work in the morning, and then I'm going to go to the gym afterwards. So a bit like we did last Thursday, the live on Thursday morning is probably just going to be on TikTok because I'm going to be in the car. Do you support people on Mounjaro? Absolutely. Sign up to my one-to-one plan. I will give you a one-to-one plan based around Mounjaro. So I'll give you your calories and your calorie structure to follow if you are using Mounjaro 100%. I've got 20 clients currently on Mounjaro that are either on plan or in the community, and we have a specific WhatsApp GLP-1 Mounjaro group that you can come into, and everyone in there is on Mounjaro or moving on to Mounjaro, so you can chat with lots of other people that are on Mounjaro and ask them questions and vibe off them a little bit. And, if you've got any issues, you can ask us, anyone else got this issue, or if you want any questions. So, yeah, fully supportive of using the weight loss jabs. I'm not going to come in and go, I've got this special plan. There's nothing special that you need to do. All Mounjaro does is help you suppress your appetite. But we do things slightly differently in terms of maybe amounts of calories might be slightly less, and certainly the way you structure your calories is going to be different. Anyway, I've got to go. So yeah, if you're on Mounjaro and you want to make sure you're doing it in the right way, come join my one-to-one plan. Again, TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Click on my link tree, get into the shop, monthly one-to-one. If you want to save yourself a chunk of money, you can sign up to my one-to-one plan yearly. 325 quid, one-off payment, a full 12 months of one-to-one weight loss coaching with me. One-off payment, 325 quid. A lot of coaches charge that for 1 month. You get me for an entire year. You'll get me till the end of June 2026, right? And if you stick to what I'm telling you, you'll be it depends what your start weight is, but you can be at least 4 stone down. At least 4 stone down this time next year. We'll get you to that point. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. If I don't see you in an hour for the weight loss coaching live, I will be back. Probably, things might change, but just on TikTok Thursday morning around 9 a.m. Have a great couple of days. If I don't see you, you guys on Planning Community, hopefully I'll see you in an hour or so. TikTok, sign off to you first. Facebook, YouTube,